But look, if your offense only works a certain way, and that's in high gear, don't worry about hurting anyone's feelings. If you put up 45 points, that's more on their defense than it is on your offense. So it
really is.
Stop giving your fans heart attacks, because that shit needs. I mean, when you're up 24-0, I'm like, this game's over, dude. And the next thing I know, because it was 24-0 like midway through the third, and I'm like, all right. And the fluke ass first touchdown they got, tossing the ball to the fullback, missed tackle, he scores. I'm like, not a big deal. Yeah. And then they get the 2-point conversion. I'm like, that's 24-8. I'm not liking that.
Right.
And it just they tried to slow down the offense, and the Redskins could not keep up the entire first 3 quarters with your offense. So why would you give them a chance to get set and match up? I mean, look at to set up the very first touchdown of the game when Shady comes out of the backfield and they're asking Ryan Character, or what's his name? Ryan
Character. No. Ryan Kerrigan and Adam Carricker.
Okay, yeah, Ryan, the defensive end. There's not a defensive end in the NFL that's going to cover LaShawn McCoy.
No. And that's the problem with the Redskins scheme. They're running a 3-4, and it's like, they don't have the personnel. If they were running a 4-3, they would be much better off, which I'm sure they're going to be doing when they fire Haslett's ass.
Nah.
But to cut you off, something that I'm going to have to learn how to do. I gotta talk about your defense, George, because Philly's defense has been the surprise of the year. I think everybody knew that they were going to have a fast-paced offense, with Chip Kelly coming in and implementing his college system. But what their defense has done has just freaked me out. And that one cat that you got on defense is nasty as shit. You probably have to say his name. I can't remember.
Fletcher Cox?
Yes, he is fucking incredible, dude.
And I'm going to sit here before you and tell you when he first got drafted, I was not a fan. I was pissed. I was mad. But you know what? Right now, he's getting the damn thing done.
He's getting it done. And on the other side of the ball, obviously, the offense looks great. But LaShawn McCoy you can't give him MVP because, that whole team is playing as a unit. But LaShawn McCoy looks incredible, man. You knew he was nasty at Pitt, and you knew he was going to be a good running back. But now that they have a system that works to his skills, because he's great out of the backfield, he's got great hands, he's fucking elusive. And when you've got commentators that are sitting there going, man, he jukes like Barry Sanders, that is a huge fucking compliment to any fucking running back in NFL. And that's the kind of running back he is, man. He looks incredible, man. I was like watching that game, and go ahead.
And I'm going to tell you what, Napoleon Foles looks good. Now, I'm not going to say he looks great at quarterback, but if he keeps up doing what he's doing right there, he should make it to the Pro Bowl this year.
Yeah, he should. He's definitely managing the game well. He's not making mistakes. He's efficient. He's doing everything he can. I think the thing that hurts him is no one expected it of him, and it's happened just kind of came on.
Because right now he's outplaying Matt Ryan. He's outplaying Colin Kaepernick. He's outplaying Russell Wilson. The only one in the NFC, in my opinion, he's not outplaying, well, maybe 2 of them, Matt Stafford and Drew Brees.
Yeah, he's not outplaying those guys. But you know what? Give him time. I don't know about Brees, but I think, after this past weekend, we saw Big Ben outplay Matt Stafford. I'm just saying. Just saying. Now, let's talk about Denver and Kansas City. Because we saw Denver put up 27 on Kansas City's defense, which had not seen anything like that. And, although Peyton Manning only scored 1 touchdown, it was still Peyton Manning throwing for fucking, 400 yards about? This guy's fucking numbers are crazy.
Yeah, he's ridiculous, dude. And everyone wants to sit there and say Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and I'm going to stand by it. Peyton Manning is the best quarterback I have ever seen play. Period.
Yeah, I've never seen and I've been around to watch Montana in his prime and stuff other things. And Brady's incredible. Brady's incredible. Some shit Brady does freaks me out. He's phenomenal, and he's definitely right there. It's him.
Peyton went for 323 and 1 touchdown.
323 and 1 touchdown, so maybe he didn't have 4. But, they both are so they're so good at managing games and working with their new personnel, and they're both going to be Hall of Famers, obviously, and 2 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But I just think I got to give the upper edge to Manning, man, because it's just, I look at his age. I look at the injury he came back from. I look at him having, not being in the same system where Brady was in the same system. And, Manning's had 4 systems since he's been in the league. 4 different offensive coordinators, 4 different head coaches, several different receivers, and he still gets the job done. So I think that, to me, what puts him over Brady. But
now in 2 weeks, when Denver has to come to Kansas City, and if Kansas City splits with them, what do you look at? I mean, if they split with Denver and go 1-1, I mean, that's kind of.
I think Kansas City is a great team. They've got a great defense and stuff like this. I think they're just hurting on offense. To me, and I've said it all year, they remind me of the Seahawks. But now the Seahawks will change, and we'll roll into that. I think that these teams are great defensively, and they win the game. They do what they're supposed to. But I don't know if Kansas City or Seattle, even though a lot of people see both of those teams as the top teams in their respective conferences, but I don't know if those teams can go into the playoffs and win 3 good straight games against good opponents.
I can tell you right now, there's only Seattle, if they keep on this pace, they're only going to have to play 2 games in the playoffs.
Yeah, because they're going to get the home field event, and that will probably get them to the Super Bowl.
Right, and I was going to say, if the road to the NFC has to go through, if you're going to get to the Super Bowl in the NFC and you have to go through Seattle, in my opinion, there's only one team that can do it, and I think they lost there, which is the Saints. Didn't the Saints lose to Seattle in the playoffs?
Last year, they
or when they weren't
there.
supposed to? When New Orleans was supposed to be like a 1 or 2 seed or something ridiculous like that, and they ended up losing to Seattle in Seattle.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what. A lot of people are gonna think I'm crazy when I say this. I think, honestly, if Philadelphia can keep developing, okay. Now, right now, no. Early in the season, fuck no. But if they continue to improve as they have, as the season has progressed, I think Philadelphia is going to be a team to watch out for come playoffs. I think they have everything. I mean, their offense is crazy. Their defense is looking better and better. They've got great special teams. And I think that, people are going to, I don't sleep on Philly, people. I really think that. I think
they could sneak up on somebody and maybe sneak a playoff win, but I don't see them making a long playoff run. I mean, as much as I'd love to see them do it, just because. And the thing is when McCoy goes down, you lose the leading rusher in the NFL, without a doubt. But the kid behind him, Dominic Brown, is more. He gets up the field. He doesn't try to score every time he touches the ball. And sometimes I wish McCoy would just get up the field. And I wish Brown would get a couple more carries. I really do. And if they continue to give Foles time, he's an NFL quarterback, a starting NFL quarterback. Right now, there's only 32. There's a reason he's in that position. All quarterbacks in the NFL, if you give them 4 seconds to throw, they will throw the ball to the open man.
Right.
Period.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, why I like Philly, and I'm going to tell you why I said that. I think Philly, as crazy as it seems, matches up great against Seattle. And I think it's because of LaShawn McCoy. I think they don't have the linebackers. They got defensive backs, but they don't have you're going to have a linebacker on him. You know what I mean? And it's like Philadelphia has the best rushing offense in the NFC. And it's about at 150 yards a game. And it's like, you know what? And the second best rushing offense is probably Seattle. And then the Skins. But
it would be interesting to see, because Russell Wilson in this season is not. I don't think it's him. He's not taking over a game and dominating. He's not throwing for 350, 400 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns a game. I mean, he's in my opinion. I mean, right now he's the ultimate game manager. He's not making mistakes. He's doing just enough to win. And what kills me is Alex Smith has been killed for that. Alex Smith gets talked down about. Alex Smith might as well be your garbage man, the way they talk about that guy. And Russell Wilson might as well walk on water and shit ice cream just because he can run and his arm's strong.
Right.
But he doesn't dominate a game. I don't think right now too many people. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he won't. But right now, I don't think he's scaring too many defenses.
Yeah, you're right about that. You know what I mean? You're right about that. I mean. Put it this way, and another team also people are talking about that could cause Seattle a problem. People think Carolina.
Oh my God, Carolina's defense is nasty, and they're going to be on tonight.
they're fucking crazy, man. I mean, they're averaging giving up what 12 to almost a little under 13 points a game.
Yeah,
and
speaking to Russell Wilson real quick, in this last game, look, I know, all right, maybe I put my foot in my mouth, maybe I didn't. 13 for 18 for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it was against the Vikings. Name one player on the Vikings defense.
There's nobody.
I think it's E.J. Henderson's little brother. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you look at defensive teams in the NFC, it will surprise you if you're talking about points per game, and obviously people go total yardage, let's say yards per game, okay? If you look at yards per game, Carolina is there. Another team is New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? New Orleans is right where Seattle is.
Yeah, and they beat San Francisco last night, which was an important win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, you look at that. I mean, New Orleans, if they can, the thing is you're looking at two teams. If Seattle, to me, has to, if Seattle gets, who is their loss to?
Indianapolis.
So they're lucky because it was an AFC loss. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know. And the New Orleans, they lost to New England, right? And they've lost how many games? 1 game or 2 games?
They haven't lost many. Let me get to the standings. I will tell you in a minute, sir. Yesterday. New England 7-2, Cincinnati 7-4. I'm just giving you the leaders. Indianapolis is 7-3, Denver's 9-1, and then we come over to the NFC, and you're looking at the Eagles at 6-5, Detroit 6-4, New Orleans is 8-2, Seattle's 10-1, San Francisco is 6-4. If they keep up with this bullshit, they might not even get the wild card.
Yeah,
they might be sitting at home.
Because you got to remember, man, the NFC North, right? Because
you got Detroit at 6-4, Chicago at 6-4, and Green Bay at 5-5. And Green Bay needs Aaron Rodgers back desperately.
And that's the thing. Suppose all of a sudden Green Bay gets healthy, like with 3. Suppose Green Bay sneaks into the fucking playoffs. Okay, now you got a team that plays great outside and in cold weather, and they sneak into the playoffs, and Aaron Rodgers is healthy, and your whole defense is healthy. Don't write them off.
Well, and then look at Carolina. Carolina's behind New Orleans. New Orleans is 8-2. Carolina's 6-3. If Carolina rips off a win tonight, that puts them at 7-3, and that puts them ahead of San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, who does Seattle have left on their schedule?
Asking all these damn questions. You need to do some research, Willie.
I'm just saying. Look, okay. They've still got New Orleans. Okay. Which is they've got a bye week coming up.
Then they play New Orleans, at San Francisco, at the Giants, Arizona, and St. Louis. So the last 2 games, if they're in a position to cruise, all the starters are going to come out versus Arizona and St. Louis.
Let me tell you something. If they lose to New Orleans, that will fuck them. Because then they got to go to San Francisco, they got to go to New York, and then they've got 2 division games. They got 3 division games, which is never fucking easy. Because, and especially St. Louis hasn't looked bad, and neither has Arizona lately.
No.
So they've looked decent. So you've got 5 of the more tougher games, and they're all NFC games. So if they lose 1 or 2 of those games, you know what I mean? If they lose against New Orleans and lose another one, then then they basically said, okay, you know what, we're going to have to go to the Superdome.
Yeah, and if we go back to the AFC, New England's on cruise control at 7-2. They know they're not going to have the best record. You got Denver and Kansas City both sitting at 9-1. I mean, there's a division winner and a wild card there. Indianapolis is blowing their division out of the water. I don't think you're going to get a wild card there. They're 7-3. Next closest team. The AFC is weak, dude. Yeah, Tennessee's 4-6. Then Houston's 2-8, Jacksonville's 1-9. Then you go over to the AFC North. You might get a wild card out of there, but Pittsburgh's going to have to kick it into gear because Cincinnati's sitting at 7-4, and the rest of the division is all sitting at 4-6.
Yeah, I think Denver. I think Denver is the one thing that's looked good with Denver lately. Is obviously Peyton Manning is just crazy, and if you're going to have to go, and it looks like he could go, going to the Super Bowl is going to be through Denver, playing at Mile High. And Peyton Manning being 100% and moving that ball like he does, and all of a sudden, now Denver's defense is looking great.
Right.
They're looking great. They're going to be a hard team to beat on the AFC side.
Because you take the top 6 teams, right? You take 4 division winners and the next 2 teams with the best records.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
So, you're looking at right now, if the playoffs were today in the AFC, the Jets would be your second wild card team at 5-5.
Yeah. But the crazy thing about this is Kansas City and Denver, as good as both of those teams are, if you don't win the division, you're the 5 seed.
Damn.
The 5 seed.
I can tell you right now. And the 5 seed would play what? The 3 seed?
The 5 seed. The 5 seed would play the 4 seed. Huh?
The 3, because 1 and 2 get a bye.
1 and 2 get a bye. 3 plays 6. 4 plays 5.
Okay, so your 3 seed in the AFC would be. Looks like now it would be Cincinnati. So Cincinnati would be playing the Jets. And then Kansas City would have to play Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Neither one of those teams won't have to play each other in the opening round.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you what, it'll be even crazier like in the NFC, because I mean you're fucking.
Well, in the NFC it's a lot closer. In the NFC this year, when you get down to week 14, 15, 16, those games are actually going to count this time around. You can't slack off. You're not going to be able to rest. Not for those teams on the bubble.
Yeah. Yep.
If you're not leading your division, you got problems. Like, I'm going to tell you what, San Francisco, Carolina, Chicago, Green Bay, and Dallas all have to play, and the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, right now, the only team who's got it kind of easy is Seattle. But, I mean, like you said, their next couple games are nasty. And New Orleans. I mean, the NFC, the Super Bowl is coming back to the NFC. The NFC champ will be somebody from the NFC.
Yeah. It's going to be, in Seattle, if they can if they can only get one loss out of these last 5 games, then I think they're sitting pretty. Unless that one loss is to New Orleans. But even so, if New Orleans gets another loss, they still have the home field advantage.
Hey, Kevin.